The ground shook. We froze. A cloud of heat and noise and dust covered us. It roared past us like a runaway train. And then, nothing. The rumbling stopped. I opened one eye, then the other. There was nothing to see but reddish-brown dust swirling everywhere. I could hear a few cows mooing softly and what sounded like water splashing. "Are we in heaven?" asked Fred. "This must be the time freezer mist," I said. Sam coughed. "No, you dimwit. The only thing frozen is your brain. We're obviously in the middle of a cloud of dust, kicked up by a herd of cattle that somehow just missed trampling us to death. Maybe it was supposed to go hickory-dickory-dare," I said. "Or maybe Mickey Mouse had a house." "Shh," said Fred. "Not again," said Sam. We heard a squeaking, banging, and jangling noise. "It's coming this way," said Fred. We stared into the thick, swirling dust. The squeaking and jangling grew louder and louder. A big, ugly thing with a bunch of legs and 5 heads suddenly appeared. "Whoa, you idiots! Whoa!" growled the thing. The dust settled a bit, and we saw a wagon pulled by 4 mules. A funny-looking guy with a scruffy white beard was the driver and the owner of the voice. "Shoot, howdy! What the heck you boys doing out in the middle of this godforsaken nowhere?" I remembered our last 2 adventures and the trouble we got into as time travelers. "We're looking for cowboys," I said. The wagon driver spit a disgusting brown stream of tobacco juice. "Darn good place you picked to look, partners. Smack in the middle of the Chisholm Trail," he laughed again. "So next time, if and I was you, I'd stand back a bit. Them doggies get running in an awful hurry when they smell water." He pointed and spit again. The whole herd of cattle stood drinking their fill at a river behind us. Sam absent-mindedly cleaned his glasses with his sock. "You wouldn't happen to have a thin blue book decorated with stars, moons, and cryptic inscriptions on its cover, would you?" "A book, you say?" The driver scratched his beard. "I seen a book once. Last year in San Antone, I think it was." "I didn't think so," said Sam. "Could you introduce us to the trail boss?" I asked. "Maybe he could help us." "Nah, he ain't much on reading either." "We don't need help reading. We want to be cowboys," said Fred. The driver looked us over from his seat on the wagon. "You boys aren't in any kind of trouble, are you?" "The truth is, we live in New York City about 125 years in the future," said Sam. "And we're just looking for something to do on a dull Saturday night, so we used a magic book to come back to this time. But we didn't tell you that because we didn't think you would believe it." The driver spit and then burst out laughing. "You are one funny little dude. I can't make out half of what you're saying, but you are one funny little Yankee." "Cookie? Hey, Cookie!" A big man in full cowboy gear, hat, bandana, chaps, boots, and spurs rode up at a gallop. He reined his horse to a stop 2 feet in front of us. "What the heck is this? A church social? Stop the jabbering and get your cuss butt and chow wagon up ahead and set up for the night." "I'm on the way, Bob. Just stopped by to see if these boys needed a hand. They tell me they're from New York. They want to be real cowboys." Trail boss Bob looked down at us and then stepped his horse sideways. "I don't give a crusty cow patty if they're from the moon and want to be king of England. I've got 1,000 head of longhorn to drive up this trail, and I've got to get 15 more miles through Cheyenne country before nightfall." The boss gave us another look. "Let 'em ride drag with the kid to work for their grub. I ain't paying no wagon to train scrawny greenhorns. Real cowboys? Yeah." Bob slapped his horse and galloped off, spraying sand and dust all over us. Cookie leaned over and spit. Now, isn't he a tender-hearted fella? I don't suppose he had a small blue book in that saddlebag, said Sam. Real cowboy, said Cookie. And then he laughed and laughed and laughed and spit. I didn't think so, said Sam. Chapter 4. The next few hours lasted a lifetime. The kid, who turned out to be just a year or two older than us, fixed us with 3 scrawny ponies that looked like they escaped from the used horse lot. Fred fell off once. I got thrown 4 times, and Sam quit counting how many times he got dumped by his cross-eyed nag. Once we finally figured out how to steer our reject ponies, the kid explained what riding drag meant. Our job was to follow the herd, round up strays, and keep the slow cattle moving. What we really did was choke on dust, run blind into cactus, and smell the nasty smell that follows 2,000 cattle wherever they go. Trail Boss Bob came back every once in a while to try out new curse words on us. Keep 'em moving, you prairie dog pellets. You'll never be real cowboys that way. Bob smacked Sam's pony on the rump and sent him into another cactus patch. When the sun finally sank, we staggered into camp. I'm starved, said Fred. I'm hungry, thirsty, dirty, sore, and too tired to list everything else I am, said Sam. We walked up to the campfire and joined about 10 other cowboys around the chuck wagon. Cookie stood in the middle, dishing dinner out of a big iron pot over the fire. Hey, looky here, it's our New York cowboys. Cookie spit a stream of tobacco juice, then plopped a spoonful of something on a plate. The crew turned to check us out. They didn't look anything like Cowboy Bob on TV. 4 of the guys were black, 3 were Mexican, and they were all even dirtier than we were. Most had scraggly beards and beat-up brown hats. They all had boots with spurs, bandanas around their necks, and jeans. Most had a single six-shooter in a holster. Nobody said a word. The sun slipped below the horizon and lit the clouds red and purple. Sit down and eat up, said Cookie, spooning up 3 plates. I think I'll just stand, said Sam. Fred pushed the stuff around on his plate and smelled the forkful. What is this stuff? Cookie only knows 2 meals, said a cowboy missing a few teeth. So it's either bacon, beans, and biscuits, or biscuits, beans, and bacon. The rest of the cowboys laughed and hooted. I tasted a little bite. It reminded me of some of our science experiments, like the one where we grew mold on bread and forgot about it for 3 weeks. I'll never complain about cafeteria food again, said Fred. But we were all so hungry we ate the mess. We even stopped our plates clean with biscuits like everybody else. The last of the sunlight disappeared and a cool breeze picked up. We moved closer to the fire. Fred took off his tiger's hat and tried to slap the dust off of it. What a life! What do you guys do for fun? None of the cowboys said anything. I didn't want this time trip to be a repeat of our last 2 near-disaster adventures, so I spoke up, trying to sound as friendly as I could in a cowboy sort of way. Howdy, my name is Jumpin' Joe. This here is Wild Fred, and that there is Yosemite Sam. You guys looked at us. Somebody burst. I figured I'd better keep talking before the beans took effect. We just want to say thanks for letting us join up with you. We'll only be sticking around a few days until we get to town in 2 months, more like it, said Cookie, spitting into the fire. 2 months, said Sam. Yep. Take us at least that long to get to Abilene. 2 months, said Sam. I can't take 2 months of dust and beans and bacon. We've got to get out of here. Sam jumped. to his feet and chanted a spell. We are rubber. Cowboys are glue. Send us back home. Whoop, whoop, dee doo. I sat Sam down and whispered, knock it off. They'll think we're crazy. Besides, the only way we can get back is to find the book. I had just managed to calm Sam down when Fred spoke up. And where are all those famous cowboys like Buffalo Bill and Wild Bull Bill Hickok and General Custer? The biggest, meanest-looking black cowboy suddenly looked up. Did you say Custer? Yeah, said Fred. There's a Lieutenant Custer at Fort Dodge, leading the 7th Cavalry. I just got out of the tent. Then it suddenly dawned on me just where and when we were. You mean Custer's still alive? Last I heard. What year is this? The cowboys around the campfire looked at me like I was crazy. 68. Custer's last stand isn't until 1876, I said. He attacked the huge camp of Sioux and Cheyenne. He and the whole 7th Cavalry get wiped out. Now the cowboys looked at me like they knew I was crazy. We've got to warn him, said Fred. Where are they? They're around here somewhere, said the cowboy from the tent. They're looking for Black Kettle and his Cheyenne braves after what they done to them boys driving the King Ranch herd through here last week. A coyote howled in the dark. Sam's eyes almost bugged out of his head. What did they do to them boys driving the King Ranch's herd through here last week? First they tied him up, then they scalped them, said Cookie. Then they cut him open. Then they took their guts and... Cookie! Sam and I jumped into each other's arms. Trail Boss Bob appeared out of the darkness. Stop flapping your gums, you sorry sacks of sod. We've got trouble. Indians? I asked. Worse, said Bob. Thunderstorm. One crack of thunder and this Lazy J herd is gone. Just like this afternoon. Once a herd spooks, they'll spook again. Bob looked at Fred, Sam, and me like we were something he stepped in. And when 2,000 head of cattle run over a man, they don't leave much to bury. Thanks for sharing that with us, said Fred. Jake, you and Cody go on first watch. Try to calm them doggies down, growled Bob. The rest of you be ready to ride. We tried to find a comfortable spot on the rocky ground. The sky was pitch black, not a star to be seen. We could hear the cattle moving and Jake and Cody singing to them to keep them calm. Oh, slow up, doggies, quit moving around. You've wandered and trampled all over the ground. Oh, graze along, doggies, and speed kind of slow. Hi-ho, hi-ho, hi-ho. Sam bumped his head on a rock. Ow! Okay, boy wizard, it's been just swell being a real cowboy, but now I think we should find the book and go home. But nobody here has any kind of book. Maybe it's in Abilene, at the end of the trail, I said, thinking out loud. I can't stand 2 months of that jerk, Bob, said Fred. We have to take our horses and get out of here tonight. Are you crazy? Said Sam. There are Indians out there. Didn't you hear what Cookie said? First they tied him up, then they scalped him, then, yeah, but the 7th Cavalry is out there, said Fred. So, said Sam. So they probably have the book, said Fred. I thought about it for a minute. Hey, Fred might be right. The cavalry always comes to the rescue. They must have the book. That settles it, said Fred. We escape tonight and find the 7th Cavalry. Not me, said Sam, rolling up tighter in his blanket. I'm staying right here and letting the 7th Cavalry find me. Escape, said Fred. Stay, said Sam. Escape! Stay! A streak of lightning and a sharp crack of thunder stopped any further discussion. We felt a familiar rumbling through our blankets. We knew what it was before we heard Cody's yell. Stampede! Chapter 5.